Naughty-Pooh Pie.
Hello and welcome to Prank Calls. Tonight we're going to take a long, hard look at that age-old prank of calling and not saying anything. This is a rather good prank for people who are just starting out, as it doesn't require the courage of actually speaking to the prank victim. However, it's not a particularly effective prank, as it usually proceeds along the lines of something like this.
Hello? Hello?
Which is quite a ways away from what would be perhaps the ideal result of this prank.
Hello? Is someone there? Hello? Look, what's going on here? Why won't you talk to me? Hello? Why? Oh, God! Oh, God! There's someone on the phone, but they're not saying anything! Ah! I don't want to live anymore!
That would be a much more preferable end to the prank, but it's rather unlikely. So overall, the calling and not saying anything prank is rather ineffective. To be safe, you'll want to stick with a more potent prank, something like this.
Hello?
This is a prank call.
My, that is a good one. I've got to get a good prank call. How much would it cost me? To get a good prank call, how much would it cost?
How would I know?
Well, you're an accountant.
Damn! Who told you?
No one, it's tattooed on your arm.
Oh, yeah, I knew I should have gotten the flaming daggers instead. Okay, well anyway, you're in the market for a good prank call, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. The good premise is running about $12 these days. Of course, you'll need a whopper of a punchline. Now, you want a funny voice?
Sure.
Okay. Funny voice, and finally, some friends to laugh obnoxiously in the background. That gives us a grand total of, $1,000,000,000.
What? I don't know where you got that figure.
Oh, well, I work out.
No, it's $1,000,000,000,000.
Well, that's what it costs these days to get a really good prank.
Oh, all right.
Thank you. And, yeah, here's your prank.
Thanks.
Hello there. Is Mr. Pilford in?
Nope. Bye.
No, wait! I haven't gotten to the punchline. Great.
That wasn't very nice of you, dear. You could have let him finish. He spent a lot of money on that prank.
Yeah, it serves him right. Who spends their money on pranks these days? For $1,000,000,000, you could buy a really clever pun or a truly stinging insult, or at the very least a halfway decent television script.
I suppose you're right, dear. Ooh, quick. It's 6:30. Turn on the television. My program's on.
Fine.
Later tonight on Amazing Breakthroughs, Patty Smith shows us the unique technique of using excessive taunting to shed those unwanted pounds. That's later tonight on Amazing Breakthroughs.
And now back to the news at 6.
What? The news is still on? My watch must be fast. What time do you have?
Looks like it's about 6:26.
Oh, well, at least it's almost over.
And now Mike Bratwurst with the latest on the Crawford shootings.
Things seem worse than we first imagined. There are scenes of indescribable violence taking place, and they look as though they're not going to get any better.
Thank you, Mike. We have now some late-breaking footage of the acts of indescribable violence aforementioned. Enjoy.
Ew, isn't the news depressing?
Yep.
Hardly worth watching.
And just blood all over. Fragments of bone and skull, and I think I even saw a little bit of intestine poking out.
Ack, turn it down, will you? That's better. I don't know why the news has to be so nasty. Jeez, that's enough. I'm going to bed.
It's one way to keep the entire... And that's all the time we have for tonight. But be sure to stay tuned for the program that the woman who just left this room really wanted to see. For Channel 3 News, I'm... Hello? Yes, of course I have a microphone. Do what with it? No, I'm sorry, that's just not a very good prank.
But excuse me, I did my best.
Yeah? Well, it obviously wasn't good enough, you old biddy.
Oh, you should talk about what makes for a good prank, you darn fool. You couldn't prank a wounded hamster if you had a blowtorch up your trousers.
Temper!
That old woman wasn't stupid enough to pay $1,000,000,000 for her prank. Hey! That settles it. I've got to come up with a good prank call. I better check the one-tans. Ah, here we are. Need help coming up with the perfect prank? Then come down to Lewd Larry's and we'll meet all your pranking needs. That sounds great. Hello, do you have a toaster? Well then, you better stick your hand in it. No, that's no good. Hello, is Mr. Smith there? Well then, you better stick your hand in it.
Wilkins for Vice God. Wilkins for Vice God.
Hello, do you have a wounded hamster?
Excuse me, sir. Would you care for a pamphlet about Smitty Wilkins, candidate for Vice God?
Candidate for what?
Vice God.
Vice God?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Oh yeah, of course there is. Otherwise, who do you think would take over if God passed away?
I never thought of that. Well, who's Vice God right now?
David Bernstein?
I never heard of him either.
Well, that's not too surprising. We're trying really hard to get him out of there. He's done hardly anything in his 12 million years in office.
Oh, so what are the responsibilities of a Vice God? I mean, it must be a pretty important position.
Oh yeah, sure, well, not really.
Huh?
Well, think about it. They're supposed to be God's helper, right?
Yeah.
Well, what does God need help with? He's all-powerful. Just between you and me, I don't know why we even have a Vice God. It's not as if the Grand Creator is ever actually going to hand his position over to anybody. No offense, I just mean that, you know...
Well, so does Vice God get to do anything?
Well, sort of. They get to give their input to God without being struck down outright, but, well, there's really not that much input anybody can give that God hasn't already thought of. Probably the biggest motivator, though, is the free t-shirt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Vice God gets this really nice cotton poly tee with a large color photo of an armadillo on it.
I don't think I see the relevance.
Well, no, there is none. It's a real nice shirt, though.
Well, if all this Vice God stuff is so pointless, why do you bother campaigning for this Wilkins fellow?
Oh, well, he's my brother, and he really wants that t-shirt, and, well, I owed him a favor, so...
Oh, I see. When is the election held?
It's going on as we speak.
Really?
Yeah, and if you wouldn't mind voting for Smitty, I would really appreciate it. It's just that if he doesn't win, I still owe him a favor, and chances are if he can't be Vice God, he'll go for Vice Satan, and I really wouldn't feel right supporting that.
Well, okay. How do I vote?
It's pretty much like a regular election. Just go into that church over there, wait in line, and when it's your turn, go into one of the little booths and sacrifice yourself in the name of the candidate you wish to support.
What?
Well,
forget it!
Wilkins for Vice God.
Well, with the Vice God elections almost over, it seems almost certain that Dr. David M. Bernstein will be serving yet another term in this somewhat sought-after position. In the 7 weeks that the polls have been open, Dr. Bernstein has received nearly 4 votes, putting him far ahead of the other candidates. Turning to local elections, Miss Maggie Timby was elected head of the Board of Isolation, of which she is the only member. Being the underdog in the race, she was quite excited at her victory and said she would try to prevent the kind of turmoil from arising within the board that we've seen in the past. And finally, in the kitty elections, Mittens, the gray and white tabby, was unable to keep her position as Mrs. Wilcox's cat and will be replaced by Mr. Hugh H. Matthews of Burton, New Jersey. That's all for Election Update. Stay tuned for Cooking with Wilma.
Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Wilma. Last time, we used the rest of Wilma's liver to make a delicious casserole. And today we're going to be using Wilma's leg to make some lovely, delicious cold cuts. Yum, 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 yum.
Now let us leave this rather distasteful sketch and rejoin our hero on his quest for the perfect prank.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to Larry's. I'm Lou Larry.
You're Lou Larry?
Well, sure, that's what people call me.
Well, that's quite a nickname. How'd you get it?
Well, it seems to me I got a remarkable fondness for tasteless jokes. I'm just one big joker. Now, how can I help you?
Well, I'm in the market for a good prank call.
Good prank call, huh? You got any experience with prank calls?
Yes, I've told a few. I'm just not that good.
Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'll just give you one of my ultra-hilarious prank calls that'll be funny no matter how badly you tell it. There you go. That'll do it.
Thanks, and how much do I owe you?
Oh, I'd say $1,000,000,000 ought to cover it.
Oh, here we are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Well, where is he?
I don't know, Brian. He should be here.
You know he should be here. That's the whole... There you are. Come on. We gotta get started, right? Come on. Go on. Get over there with the others.
But I think there's been a mistake here.
Quiet. We're starting.
In 5, 4, 3...
Hello and welcome to the 1995 Ramp Leaping Finals. I'm Brian McDougall, and we're so pleased to have you here with us today because today we have some of the finest leapers that the world has ever seen, each ready to prove themselves worthy of the title King Leaper. So without further ado, let's go on to the first jump. Our first jumper is Matt Bilga, who has had a lot of experience with ramp leaping and is thought by many to be the next King Leaper.
Oh my God!
Well, a noble attempt there, but it looks as if old Matt must have panicked partway down, quite understandably, and the resulting landing was just a bit too mangled. Still, he may not be out of the race yet. Our next leaper is Allison Greenlee. Before becoming a professional jumper, Allison was pursuing a career as a human ceiling fan.
No, what are you doing? No!
Well, not bad, not bad. A little messy, but a good jump. All right, our next leaper is John Pilford, who has never done a thing in his life that is worth my mentioning. A truly pathetic individual.
No, don't do it! No! No, you can't! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Well, that was... Oh, what's this? Apparently our friend John still has a little life left in him. Well, unfortunately, by the rules of the game, each player must be completely dead by the end of their jump, so I'm afraid... Well, sorry about that, John, but those are the rules. Anyway, our final contestant is Bill Jenkins.
No, no, there's been a mistake. I'm not Bill Jenkins. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, that's very amusing, Bill, but come on, it's time to jump.
No, no, I'm not jumping. You're all crazy. No!
Looks as though Bill needs a little extra encouragement. Jump!
What should we do now?
I'll cut him off! Thank goodness I made it. I've never seen anything like that. Well, at least I got my prank. Now to put it into action. Okay, this is it.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Dwinkle.
Yes?
You have been watching Naughty-Pooh Pie, which was written by Aralai River and which starred Mose Hayward, Joe Mizell, and Aralai River. Produced by Mose Hayward and Aralai River. Copyright 1995 by a wretched array of Pointless Insanity Productions.
You naughty boy.
Mr. Philippine, you have won Best Prank Award 1995.
Oh, thank you, thank you. This is truly an honor. I'd like to thank all my friends and family, if only my pride and fear of ridicule didn't prevent me from doing so. But most of all, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ for all of my beautiful children. He's the best wife I could ever ask for.
Wilkins for Vice Satan. Wilkins for Vice Satan.
It looks great. Come on, go.
All right. Outtake.